sales is the most lucrative skill in the world, period. The problem is most sales advice out there today is outdated, cheesy, and can even keep you from getting the deals that can make all the difference in your career. This is the No BS Sales School, a podcast for entrepreneurs and salespeople who want to master the skill of selling without all the BS.
Probably never happened to you, but every now and then I screw things up. I make mistakes. I say something I shouldn't say. I don't do something I said I was going to do. I do something wrong. I let somebody down. Happens at home all the time. My kids, my family, happens with clients. I don't do what I say I was going to do. Or somebody on my staff doesn't do something that we hope they would do or doesn't do it exactly the right way, and it impacts somebody else. And or sometimes, right? Sometimes something gets screwed up and the client's mad at you. It was their fault to start with, right? And so it's tempting. And I think it's human nature. We want to be right. We want to be right. We don't want to be wrong. We want to be right. And so it's tempting sometimes when something happens. Let's pretend your client was supposed to pay a bill at a certain time. They didn't pay the bill. And so therefore the thing didn't get shipped out on time. Right? That ever happened? Right? Or didn't start a service or whatever. And they call you raising hell because it's not there or it's late. And the temptation is to say, well, if you paid your damn bill on time, we wouldn't be having this trouble. Right? I had a client one time with a real estate business, and he bought a building from me. I helped him buy a building for a tax exchange he was doing. And it's a long story, but about 3 days after he bought the building, it's a brand new Advance Auto building in a tiny little town in South Carolina up near Clemson. West Pelzer, South Carolina, to be exact. And he reinvested some money, sold his building and bought this building. And anyway, he called me about 2 or 3 days after the closing, and he's an old Greek guy. And he was light. He lit me up. He was screaming at me in Greek, which I don't speak much of. I don't speak any Greek, as a matter of fact. And he said, and finally I said, George, what is going on? Tell me what's happening. And he said, the damn building that you sold me, of course I sold it, right? The damn building you sold me, brand new building, has a leak in the roof so badly that the ceiling tiles fell in. And the tenant, who's supposed to be there for 20 years, said, if we don't get this thing fixed in the next 2 days, they're going to cancel their lease, which would make the building, I don't know, I won't say worthless, but instead of $1.5 million we paid for it, maybe worth $300,000. Well, my first thought, and thank God it wasn't what I said, but my first thought was, well, damn, George, I told you to get the friggin' roof inspected. That's what I thought, but I didn't say it. Instead, I said, holy shit, George, I'm so sorry. I bet you want to kill me. Now look, I'm no roofing expert. I don't know nothing about no roof except for they shouldn't leak. I don't know how to check a roof, wouldn't know what one looks like other than the ceiling tiles fall down. There's probably water coming through the roof, the brand new roof, right? I know nothing about it. I didn't build it. Here's the thing. He called and was mad. Now, I could have said, well, damn, George, I told you to check the roof. And guess what? Guess who he might have added to his list of people he was mad at? Me. But instead, I said, George, I am so freaking sorry. I've let you down. I bet you want to kill me. Which is all true, right? But I did want to kill him. I'm sorry. And he said, no, Walker, you're the only person I know who can help me right now. Boom. Right? All of a sudden we get down to the truth. But how easy is it to get defensive and say, it wasn't my fault. It was somebody else's fault. It was your fault. Blah, 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 blah. You'll never win that battle. And if you do, you win the battle and lose the damn war. when you screw something up, when something gets screwed up, and the customer call, or hell, they don't call, you figure it out before they do. Instead of calling and saying, well, you guys messed this up, or let me tell you, it wasn't me, it was our shipping department. It wasn't me, it was somebody else. When you're talking to your customer, you are the home office. You are the company. When you're talking to your prospect, you are the company. And if something's screwed up, take responsibility. I'm sorry. That's terrible. Can't believe that happened. My fault. I bet you want to kill me. Take responsibility for it. Now, let's do a little wordplay here. You know how I like wordplay, right? The difference between fault and responsibility. I'm happy to claim something as my fault. I don't mind that at all. Fault means you did it. Responsibility means you say, I'm going to say it was me, and I'm going to see what I can do to help. Right? So, the example I heard best describe this was, if somebody leaves a baby on your doorstep, that's not your fault, but that baby is your responsibility, right? What happens next is on you. So when you or your company screw something up, be comfortable saying, my bad, I'm so sorry, and say it sincerely, like you freaking mean it. And here's better, mean it. A lot of people think that what we talk around here are moves, and how do you do this? Well, how do you blah, blah, blah? How do you trick people? See, we don't ever do that. What we're trying to do is be the most honest, open, transparent that anybody can be. And in sales, you know how rare that is? It almost never freaking happens. If something's screwed up, say, my bad, I screwed that up. My fault, I didn't tell you that. Even if you did. My fault, I clearly didn't tell you that, or I wasn't clear enough about it. Gosh darn it, I should have warned you that was going to happen. My fault. Right? Even if you had nothing to do with it. You know what happens half the time? Your customer will say, no, it's not your fault. I know it's not your fault. I just need your help. Be the person there that you're able to be, the one that can help, not the one that's adding to the problem. Don't make your customer, your prospect, your client the bad guy. Sometimes they'll say, no, I screwed up. I just need your help to know what to do now. If you ever start pointing fingers or making excuses, you're dead. You don't want to be dead. Be honorable, do the right thing. That will separate. Remember, nobody can tell that you're better until they see that you're different. And one way you can be different is take responsibility for the shit that goes wrong. And when things go right, compliment your customer for their smart decision. You're the guide, not the hero. Take the fall. Better for you in the long run. 99 times out of 100, that will pay off for you in spades. And every now and then, maybe you get dinged. You probably got away with something in the meantime. I'm Walker McKay with No BS Sales. If you want to figure out how to work out how to be more transparent with your customers, how to build better, trusting relationships without bullshit conversations, let's have a conversation. Call me, 803-917-2817. Or send me an email, walker@walkermckay.com. We'll put some time on the calendar, have a conversation, see if you've got something that I can help you with. If you have not yet rated or ranked this podcast, it'd be a huge favor if you do that. We just got over 100. I'm psyched as can be. Next goal is 250. So if you can help me with a 5-star rating and put some words down there, what it's meant to you, what you've learned, what's one thing you've learned, or hey, I hate your guts. Whatever it is, Apple doesn't care if it's good or bad. It's just numbers. Thank you for listening. Share this with somebody else who needs to hear it.
Thanks for listening to the No BS Sales School podcast. If you haven't already, please take 1 minute to write a quick review for the show. It really does make a huge difference. Also, subscribe to the show and please forward this episode to somebody else who needs to hear it. As a bonus for listening, I'm going to give you access to a free mini course, 7 expensive sales mistakes you're making and what you can do about it. Go to www.7salesmistakes.com and get access to the free mini course. That's the number 7salesmistakes.com. Thanks again for listening to the No BS Sales School podcast.